Welcome to a quantitative aptitude video on averages from careerright.com. The problems on averages are extremely important for placement test, bank, MBA and all other entrance exams. In every exam you can definitely find at least two averages sums. Being easily solvable, you can use them to increase your scores. In this video, we are going to show you some very easy tricks to quickly solve all questions from this topic. After this video, you can go to careerright.com, which has 1000 plus practice questions on quantitative aptitude, and take the practice test over there. Let's get started. Let's start with the average formula. Now, before going on to the formula directly, let us try to derive it or understand first what exactly average is. By this, you will be able to easily tackle all the sums as well as remember the formula very easily and quickly recollect it in the exams. Now, let us say let's go on first with what does average means. Average is nothing but equitable distribution. Okay, equitable distribution. What does that mean? That means if you have say 100 rupees, okay, if you have 100 rupees and there are say 5 children, right, 5 children, and you want to divide 100 rupees equally among 5 children, what you would do? You will simply give 20 rupees to each child. Okay, so each child gets 20 rupees, equitable distribution. This total comes out to be 100, right? This is nothing but average. So what we can say is that 100 rupees, all the 5 children get 20 rupees. Okay, each one gets same amount of rupees. So the average of money, okay, average amount with each child is nothing but 20 rupees. This is an example of average. We'll go on to more examples and the idea will become clearer. But you just need to remember that average is nothing but equitable distribution. Okay, let's go on to another example that would make the idea more clearer. Let us say there is a family which has a dad, okay, there is the mom, then there is the son, and then there is the daughter. Okay, right? Now the dad has 100 rupees, the mother has 200 rupees, the son has 25 rupees and the daughter has 75 rupees with them. Now what should we do first? Let us say if we take a box and collect all this money in the box. So how much money would be there in the box? 100 plus 200 would be 300, 325 plus 75 is 400. So now in the box there is rupees 400, right? 400 rupees. Now if I want to distribute this equally among all these 4 members, how much should each get? Dad will get 100 rupees, mother will get 100 rupees, because that would be nothing but 400 divided by, since there are 4 members. So divided by 4, 400 is the total amount of money, right, with all the 4, and 4 is nothing but the total number of family members. So 100 rupees each. So each one must get 100 rupees. So son gets 100 rupees, daughter gets 100 rupees, right? All 4 of them have received the equal amount, right, 100 rupees. So this is nothing but average. The average amount with each person would be 100. Now, did you see how did we calculate this 100 value? We simply added all the monies, okay, with each, added all the amounts with each of the person, okay. This becomes the sum and we divided it by the total number of persons, right. This is nothing but the formula for average. Average is nothing but sum of all the observations, okay. Observations means sum of all these values and divided by total number of values or total family members, total members. Here there are 4 members, dad, then there's the mother, then there's the son and the daughter. So 4 members are there. So right now over here we have 4 total members, right? Total values are 4. And how sum means how much value does each of them have? Dad has 100, mother has 200, son has 25, daughter has 75. So addition would be 400. So average comes out to be 100. What is this 100? 100 means on an average, if we calculate the average amount of money with each person, then it comes out to be 100 rupees. So this 100, okay, this is the average amount of money with each person in the family, right? See how easily we calculated average. There's nothing to it, just add all the values, that is nothing but the sum, and divided by total number of values. So how to remember average formula? Average is nothing but sum upon total. Sum upon total. This is the only thing you should remember, and this will solve all the sums related to average. There's nothing to it. Average means equitable distribution, and average is nothing but add everything, divide by the total number of members or total number of things, right? Now say, if they say a person, there's a batsman, okay, there's a batsman, he is playing, okay, he has played say 20 matches, and in each match he scored some runs, and the total amount of runs which he scored is say 750, right? So this sum which is there, that is addition of each match, that we already have 750, and total number of matches we already have 20. So what would be the average of the batsman? What you will do? 750 divided by 20, right? So average would be 750 divided by 20, 75 by 2, that is 315.7.5, 37.5 runs per match. That becomes the average of the batsman. Cricket innings or anything, these are also favorite types of sums which are asked in averages, right? So just remember, average is equitable distribution, and average is nothing but sum divided by total. This is very easy formula. We'll see how to apply it in all the sums, and once you go through this video entirely, you will be very much confident regarding averages sums, and you will be able to solve all the types of average sums. Okay. Now after this, what you should remember is one very small concept, and that is nothing but total sum or sum. What it is, we'll see. Okay. Now we have seen what exactly average is. Average is nothing but equitable distribution. Also we saw the formula for average, that is nothing but the sum of all observations divided by total number of observations. Then what is total sum? Total sum is nothing but this. Sum can be written as average into total number of observations, right? We just take it over here and multiply. This is nothing but total sum. See how easy it is. This concept will help you solve almost 80% of averages sums, because most of the sums that are asked nowadays in exams are easily solvable through this total sum concept. We'll see some examples over here right now that would help you clarify this concept of total sum and how to use it and what exactly it means. Now over here, let us say there are 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Let us say one has rupees 150, 2 has rupees 100, 3 has rupees 50, 4 has rupees 200 and fifth one has say rupees 1000. Okay, so how much total money does all these 5 people have? Okay, that would be 150 plus 100, 200 plus 50, 150 plus 100 is 250 plus 50 is 300 plus 200 is 500 plus 1000, that is nothing but 1500 rupees. Let's see, 150, 200, 400, 500, yes, 1500 rupees. Okay, total amount of money with these 5 people, okay, together is rupees 1500. This is nothing but the total sum. Say if they have given ages of say 3 people, 1, 2 and 3. If they have given ages like 15, 25 and say 40, okay, then what is the total ages or total sum of ages of all the 3 people? 15 plus 25 is 40, 40 plus 40 is 80 years, right? Say they have given, say if they say that a batsman is playing for say 7 innings, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If a batsman is playing for 7 innings, okay, batsman plays for 7 innings and each inning he scores like 1 run, 10 runs, 15 runs, 12 runs, 2 runs, 3 runs and 5 runs. So what is the total amount of runs the batsman has scored? 10 plus 11, 10 plus 1 is 11 plus 15, 26, 38, 40, 43, 48 runs. So this is the total sum of runs. So you understood what exactly the total sum concept is. It is nothing but the addition. Now addition, right? That is nothing but the sum. Now not every sum will directly have all these values and we just add them. Okay, here we added them because we had those values, but not in every sum we'll have that. So whenever such sums come where there is where such values are not given, there how to find total sum? Very easily, by this formula or by the formula of average. Both these formulas are same. We need total sum. In such sums where all these individual values are not given, simply take the average, multiply it by total number of people or the total number of innings or total number of members, family members, something like that, and you will get the total sum of ages or total sum of runs or total sum of say monies or the amount which is there, right? That so easily, very easily we can get the total sum. Now why do we do that, average into total? Because we have learned that equitable distribution means average, average means equitable distribution. So total number of members, if we multiply by average, that means that each member gets this much amount. For example, here it is 15, right? 1500 is there. Total number of members is how much? 5. So what is the average amount of money with each member? 300 rupees, right? So if there is 150, 150, 200 and 1000, and say if there are these five people, if there are other 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and each one is given 300 rupees, still the total sum would come out how much? 300 plus 300 plus 300, 5 times, that would be 1500 only. See, so average which is there, if it is average amount of money, if it is equitably distributed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each one getting average amount of money, 300, 300, 300, we get the proper sum, right? This is same as this is same as this, right? So you need to remember that whenever you want to find total sum, you just have to take the average, multiply it with the total number of members. This is not a separate formula. This is the same as the formula of average. You are just taking this on the left hand side and multiplying. There is nothing different. You just have to remember one formula for averages. There is no two formulas. There is only one formula for average, and only remember the concept that only remember two concepts. That first one is average is nothing but sum upon total number of sum of observations upon total number of observations, and other concept is generally try to find total sum. Now let us see when to find total sum and when to use the formula directly. Okay, now moving on to the first question. Knowing that Vijay's expenditure for the first 3 days is rupees 100, rupees 125, rupees 85, what is his 4th day expenditure, as his 4 days average expenditure is rupees 90. Now we know average is nothing but sum upon total, right? This is the formula. Now what is exactly total? Total is nothing but total number of observations. Here they have given that 4 days average, we need they have given 4 days average, okay, and first 3 days expenditure they have given, and we have to find the 4th day expenditure. So total number of days are nothing but 4, right? So average would be sum upon total number of days, that is 4. Now let us see what exactly would be the sum. Now the first day, second day, third day and fourth day. First day Vijay spends 100 rupees, second day Vijay spends 125 rupees, third day Vijay spends 85 rupees, fourth day we do not know. So what is the total, what is the sum of all these? Plus plus, this is 225 plus 230 plus 80, that would be 310 plus question mark. This is the sum, right? So let's have 310 plus question mark. Now what they have given is that his 4 days average expenditure is 90. So they have given the average. So 90 is 310 plus question mark divided by 4, right? So what will we get? 4 into 90 is 360 equal to 310 plus question mark equal to 50 rupees. So on the 4th day, okay, question mark is nothing but this 4th day. On the 4th day, Vijay spends rupees 50 only. See how easily with the formula and basic concept of addition I am getting the sum, we solved this. We solved the numerical. Okay, moving on to next question. Question number 2. what will be average price of all the goods bought if Ajay buys 30 erasers for rupees 3 each, 35 chocolates for rupees 10 each, and 25 clips at the rate of rupees 4 each. Okay. Now over here again what we see, this is very easy. Average is nothing but sum upon total. Now what total number of observations? What is this total number? Total number is nothing but the amount of goods bought. What did he buy? He bought 30 erasers plus 35 chocolates plus 25 clips. So what is the total? 65 plus 5, 70, 20, 90 articles, 90 goods were bought by him. What do we have to find? We have to find the average price, right? That is nothing but the cost. So we have to find average price, which is there. We have one element, that is T. Now what we need to find is the sum of everything. Now what is sum? Since this is the number of goods, this has to be price. Okay, the cost. This has to be the cost. Then only we'll get cost over here, average price over here. Now what Ajay did, how much total money did Ajay spend? How to find it? Very easy. Ajay buys 30 erasers for rupees 3 each. That means one eraser, the cost of one eraser is rupees 3. So 30 erasers, how much would be the cost? Simply 30 into 3 is nothing but rupees 90, right? Now again, one chocolate cost is rupees 10. So 35 chocolates, the cost would be rupees 350. Again over here, one clip, the cost is rupees 4. 25 clips, cost is rupees 25 into 4 is 100. So how much is the total amount spent by Ajay? How much did Ajay spend? What is the sum of the amount which Ajay spent? 90 plus 350, right? Plus 100, that is 350 plus 100 is 450 plus 90 is 540 rupees. So what would be average? Sum divided by total, right? That gives us 6 rupees. So average price of all the goods bought is 6 rupees. Understood? See here, whenever we use formula, just find two elements, the sum and total number of goods or total number of family members. You will never have the amount or the total price in the denominator as total number of observations. That would always be in the numerator. Again, the runs scored by a batsman, that would be in the numerator. But the innings played, matches played, that would be in the denominator. Always remember that we just need to find the sum and the total number of observations, right? Moving on. Question number 3. Of the 20 cycles sold by Ajay, average cost of 12 cycles is rupees 18,000. In total, he earned rupees 3 lakhs. What was the average cost of remaining cycles? Now over here, we do not have, we know this is an average sum, which is average is nothing but sum upon total. Now we know total, that total Ajay sold 20 cycles, right? So we know total as 20. Now but what the problem here is, we do not know the individual values of each cycle. For what price did Ajay sell each of the cycle? So finding total sum over here becomes little bit difficult. But if you look carefully, we can simply use another way to find the total sum, which we have learnt at the start. That is nothing but sum is nothing but average into total, right? Now do we know average for 20 cycles? No, we do not know. But what do we know? Average cost of 12 cycles is rupees 18,000. So let us calculate over here for 12 cycles. Okay, this is for 12 cycles. What is the average cost for 12 cycles? 18,000. What does that mean? That means that Ajay sold 12 cycles, right? And he collected some money. Okay, let the amount be XYZ, some money he collected. Okay, rupees XYZ, he collected some money. And if he saw that whatever the money is there, average money collected for each cycle is nothing but rupees 18,000. That means each cycle, if sold for 18,000, he'll get this much money. So he sort of sold every cycle for 18,000 rupees. These 12 cycles he sold for 18,000 rupees. So how much total money did he earn by these 12 cycles? Very easy, you know the average, 18,000 over here let's write it over here as a separate calculation. Okay, sum is average. Average is nothing but 18,000 multiplied by total. Total cycles are 12. So how much you will get? You will get over here 2,16,000 rupees. So this is the amount of money he earned by selling 12 cycles, right? So this is the total sum for 12 cycles. How much did he totally earn? He earned 3 lakh rupees totally. Okay, this is the total of 20 cycles, right? 12 cycles, for 12 cycles, you will write over here, for 12 cycles he earned 2,16,000 rupees. For 20 cycles he earned 3 lakh rupees. So you should see that remaining 8 cycles which are there, okay, for how much did they sell? Okay, how much money was collected by selling those remaining 8 cycles? 3 lakh minus 2 lakh 16, right? 3 lakh minus 2 lakh 16,000, that is nothing but 84,000. So by selling these remaining 8 cycles, Ajay collected 84,000 rupees. So this is nothing but the sum for 8 cycles. This is nothing but total number of cycles, right? So what is the average for the remaining cycles? That is average for the 8 cycles is sum of 8 cycles upon total, that is 84,000 upon number of cycles 8, that is nothing but 8 ones are 80500 rupees 10,500 is the average cost of remaining cycles. Look, we'll go through this once again. This is very easy. You might feel that this is confusing or something like that, but it is not very easy. Take a look at this, because once you understand this concept over here, you can use it very easily in the other sums, because this is very useful. Okay, now what happens is that Ajay has 20 cycles. Out of that he first sells 12 cycles and he gets some money. And when he calculates, he realizes that these 12 cycles, whatever he has earned from these 12 cycles, on an average for these 12 cycles, for each cycle he has received 18,000 rupees on an average. He might have sold one cycle for say 20,000, other cycle for say 11,000 only. But when you calculate the average, that average comes out to be 18,000 for Ajay for these 12 cycles only. Okay, then he says, what does Ajay do? Ajay also sells the remaining 8 cycles, and in total Ajay earns 3 lakh rupees. Now we know average is total sum upon total number of cycles. We know total number of cycles as 20, but we do not know the average amount for each cycle, or what is the average price for each cycle. We do not know that. So let's see, what do we know? We know that for 12 cycles the average price is 18,000, right? So how much total money did Ajay earn through these 12 cycles? Very easily we can calculate. That is, total sum is nothing but average into total number of cycles. Average is 18,000, total number of cycles is 12. So Ajay earns 2,16,000 from 12 cycles. Okay, from 12 cycles Ajay earns 2,16,000. But we know that when Ajay sells 20 cycles, he earns 3 lakh rupees. So for 12 cycles Ajay earns 2,16,000. For 20 cycles Ajay earns 3 lakh rupees. So remaining 8 cycles which are there to make 20, 12, 2,16,000. So remaining 8 cycles which are there, how much did Ajay earn in that? 3 lakh minus 2,16,000, that is nothing but 84,000, right? So 84,000 were earned by Ajay for these 8 cycles. So total sum for 8 cycles is 84,000. Total number of cycles is 8. So what is the average of the remaining 8 cycles? Sum upon total, 84,000 upon 8, that is nothing but 10,500, right? So moving on to next sum. Question number 4. Without considering the salary of the boss, the average salary reduces by rupees 1,000. What will be salary of the boss if average salary of 11 employees and their boss is rupees 18,000? Again over here we do not know individual salaries, so it is much better to find the total sum. How to find the total sum? We know a formula for average is sum upon total. So total sum is nothing but average into total. Now we know how many people are there. What they have given in over there in the second sentence is that average salary of 11 employees and the boss is rupees 18,000. So 18,000 is the average. Now how many people are there? 11 employees plus their boss, so that would be 12 people. So average for 12 people is 18,000. So what is the total sum of salary or the total sum of money, right? For 12 people, 18,000 into 12. So what would that be? 1,80,000 is 10 plus 36, 216. Okay, 2,16,000 rupees is the total salary or the total sum. For how many people? This is for 12 people, right? Now what they say in the first sentence, without considering the salary of the boss. So if you exclude the salary of the boss, average salary reduces by rupees 1,000. Average salary for 12 people, that is 11 people plus the boss, is 18,000. If you do not consider the boss, number of people would be only 11, right? 12 minus 1, boss is 1 person, so 12 minus 1 is 11. Salary, average salary reduces by 1,000, so 18,000 minus 1,000, that is nothing but 17,000. So average salary for 11 people is 17,000, right? For the 11 employees it is 17,000. So what is the total amount of money or for these 11 people? Okay, total amount of salary, okay, total sum of salary for these 11 people would be average into total. Total people are 11 because we are not considering the boss over here. So we have 11 plus the average also has decreased as 1,000 over here. Please remember, right? So what we will get? 11 sevens are 77, 11 1 plus 7 is 1,87,000, right? This is the salary of, total sum of salary of 11 employees, because we are not considering the boss over here. And this is the total salary, total sum of salary of 11 employees plus boss, right? See, we simply have to subtract this from this to get the boss salary. Okay, 11 people plus boss minus the 11 people will give us the boss salary. So 2,16,000 minus 1,87,000 would give us the salary of the boss. This is 16 by 7, 9. Okay, 0, 10 minus 8 is 2, 29,000 is the salary of the boss, right? See how total sum concept which is there, it was used to solve this numerical which had nothing in it, only average and total number of observations was given. We used the total sum concept and solved the sum. Moving on, question number 5. Average age of 5 people is 42 years. Another group has 8 people who have average age of 81 years. When both groups are mixed, what is average age of all people? Again, another sum related to total sum. Okay, another numerical which is related to total sum. We know average is nothing but sum upon total number of observations, right? Over here, do we know the total number of observations? They have asked average age of all people. All people means both the groups are added. First group had 5 people, second group had 8 people. So total number of people are 13. These are 13 people. This is nothing but T. We have the value of T. Do we have the value of sum of all the ages of all the 13 people? No. So let's see what exactly we have. Okay, we know average is sum upon total. So total sum is nothing but average into total number of observations, right? Now what they have given is that average age of 5 people is 42 years. So average age for 5 people is 42 years. That is nothing but sum of ages of all the 5 people divided by total number of people. We know the average as 42, sum of ages of 5 people we do not know, and total number of people are 5. Okay, sum of the ages of these 5 people is 42 into 5 is 210 years. Similarly, average age for 8 people they have given. Sum of the ages of these 8 people divided by total number of people, average age is given as 81 years. Sum of the ages we do not know, total number of people are 8, so sum of the ages of all these 8 people is 81 into 8, 648 years, right? So now we have sum of the ages of 5 people and sum of the ages of 18 people. We have 13 people over here. 13 is nothing but a group of 5 people plus group of 8 people, so 5 plus 8 is 13. So if we want sum of the ages of 13 people, that is same as sum of the ages of 5 people plus sum of the ages of 8 people, right? So that is nothing but 210 plus 648, that would give us 858 years. So this is our value for S. We have the value for T, we have the value for S. Let's find out the average. Average would be 858 divided by 13. That is the total number of people. That is 13 into 6 is 78, right? Again 78, 66 years. So average age of all the people when both the groups are mixed is 66 years, right? Moving on. Question number 6. 3 boxes have some average weight. When one box which weighs 89 kg is replaced by another box, the average weight increases by 5 kg. How much the new box weighs? Now this might look like a very different or a difficult sum, but actually it is not. A very small and easy concept goes into solving such kind of sums. Pay attention to the concept because this is very important and as well as easy, and this concept will help you solve almost 50 to 60% of average sums, because they are asked in because 50 to 60% average sums are asked by of this format. Okay, now let's take a small example, okay, to explain what the sum is saying. Let us assume that there are 3 boxes, 1, 2 and 3, and let us assume that the average weight of these 3 boxes is W kgs. So what does this mean? If the average weight of 3 boxes is W kgs, that means each box weight must be W, W and W, right? W kg, W kg, W kg. Now let us assume there are other 3 boxes, 1, 2 and 3, and average weight of these 3 boxes is W plus 5 kg, or what we can say, it is 5 more than the previous weight. So 5 kg more than the previous weight, that is nothing but W plus 5 kg, right? So what will be the individual weights of the boxes? W plus 5 kg, W plus 5 kg and W plus 5 kg. So what does this mean? If the average increases by 5 kgs, then individual weights also increase by 5 kgs. Did you see over here? It was WWW. When average became W plus 5 kg, it became W plus 5, W plus 5 and W plus 5, right? Now, if initially this condition is there and finally this condition is there, then what does that mean? Say let us assume that this is box number 3 and we are replacing it with a new box, this box, right? This box, new box, a new box, we are replacing it with a new box. So what should be the weight of this new box? Let us see what should be the new weight of this new box. Now this new box makes the average W plus 5. When the average becomes W plus 5, there is an increase of plus 5 and plus 5, right? So initially these two boxes, now in the final stage also these 2 boxes are the same, so their weights has to remain same. So this remains same, this remains same, right? Same. What changes? So this increase which is there, plus 5, who will compensate for that increase? This is nothing but the new box. The new box, that means, should have this increase of plus 5 for the first box, this increase of plus 5 for the second box, plus this increase of plus 5 for itself, and plus the original weight. Now since we are replacing 3, okay, box number 3 which has an weight of W with another box, that is new box, we do not know its weight. What does it should have? It should have this weight W, plus it should have this increase in weight, plus it should have this increase in weight, right? All these 3 things should be compensated by this new box. So the new box, so over here in this, what we have, this third box has a weight of 89 kgs, right? They have given, this is not the average, please remember, this is the individual weight. We are removing this box, okay, we are removing this box, we are putting in a new box, and this new box will have, what it does it do? It increases the average. Since it is increasing the average, that means it is adding weight, so the new box weight has to be greater than old box weight. So what does the weight, what should be the weight of new box? It should be 89, that is original box weight, plus it should compensate for this increase of 5, right? Because average increases by 5 for the first box, increase of 5 for the second box, and increase of 5 for itself also, because when average increases by 5 5 is added to each of the individual weights. So what would it be? This is nothing but 103 kgs. Okay, it is very easy. You might think that this is difficult and very complicated, but it is not. Again, I'll explain it to you. Now let us assume there are 3 boxes. Okay, box 1, box 2, box 3. Now average weight of these 3 boxes is W kgs. So individual boxes will weigh W kg, W kg and W kg, right? Now suppose take another 3 boxes 1, 2 and 3, and if their weight is W plus 5 kgs, okay, average weight is W plus 5 kgs, what would be the individual weights? W plus 5 kg, W plus 5 kg and W plus 5 kg. Now let's come to our problem. Let us say that because of replacing one box, the average increases by 5. That means if average initially is W kg, it becomes W plus 5 kg, right? It becomes W plus 5 kg like this. Now since it becomes W plus 5 kg, what would be the individual weights become? They would become from 1 will go from W to W plus 5, 2 will go from W to W plus 5 and 3 will also go from W to W plus 5. Okay, so there is an increase of 5 kg in individual weights also. Remember, once average increases, individual weights also increase. But we know that 2 boxes are the same, only the third box is changed. That means weight of the 2 boxes has to be the same, that is W and W, right? W and W. So this extra weight of 5 kg and 5 kg, from where should we compensate it, or from where should we get that extra weight? They should get the extra weight from the new box, right? So new box should have the extra weight of 5 kg for box number 1, extra weight of 5 kg for box number 2 and also the extra weight of 5 kg for box number 3, that is itself. And what is the original weight of that box which was replaced? 89. Even that should be compensated because we are removing, we are replacing, so 89 should be there. So when we add this, we get 100 kg. So now when the new box is 103 kg, then only the average increases by 5 kgs, right? You can even calculate and see it. Now if they say that the average weight decreases by 5 kg, then here instead of W plus 5, it would be W minus 5, and each of the boxes will have weight W minus 5, W minus 5 and W minus 5. And the box which is getting replaced, say if it is of 89 kg, then what would be the weight of the new box? It would be 89 minus 5 and minus 5, right? Now, but here it is increasing, so we need not consider this. This is only for information, or if some is asked regarding the weight decrease, right? Now over here what we have written? We have written plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. We can write it like this also. 5 kg for one box. For 3 kg is how much? 5 for 3 boxes, 5 kg for increase for one box. So for 3 boxes, how much increase is there? 5 kg into 3 boxes, that is 15, right? 15 kg increase should be there. So the weight of new box should be 89 plus 15, that is nothing but 103 kgs. Both are same, right? But remember how we expressed it, because in some numericals you might have to calculate using this way, in some we have to calculate using this way, right? Now moving on to next sum. Question number 7. How old will Raju be if the ratio of his age and one of his twin grandsons is 11:2 and average age of his and his both the grandsons is 50 years? Again, this is a sum of total sum, of finding total sum. What we know, average is nothing but sum upon total, right? Total number of members or total number of people. So what is, do we know total number of people? Yes, that is 3, because Raju and both his grandsons we know. What is the average age of Raju and both his grandsons since they are twins? Okay, that is nothing but 50. So what we have, 50 equal to sum of the ages of all the 3 people, Raju and both his grandsons, divided by total number of people, that is 3. So sum of the ages of 3 people is 150 years, right? Now what they are saying is that ratio of Raju's age to one of his twin grandsons. Now both the grandsons which are there, they are twins actually, so both will be having same age. So ratio of one of the twin grandsons is, say, let us say G1, one grandson, okay, is nothing but 11:2. G1 is one of the twin grandsons and G2 would be the other grandson. Ratio age of Raju to one of the grandson is 11:2. Let k be the common factor. So age of Raju would be 11k. Age of grandson would be 2k. Since they are twins, it would be same as G2, that is the second grandson would also be having the same age, 2k. What is the total of their ages? 11k plus 2k plus 2k would be 15k. But we already know the sum of the ages of Raju and his grandsons is 150 years. We have calculated it over here. Okay, equate this, what we get? 15k equal to 150 years. So k would be 10 years, right? Since k is 10 years, what is the age of Raju? That is 11k, that is 11 into 10, 110 years. See how easily, using the concept of total sum, we calculated the answer. Moving to the next question. Question number 8. Had Ajay scored 18 runs more in his third innings and 4 runs more in his 7th innings, his average would have become 66 runs, but it is 64 runs. How many innings did he play? Now we do not know the number of innings over here. What we know is average is nothing but sum of all observations upon total. Now this is not a tricky sum or a complicated sum. We have to use the same concepts which we have done earlier, and using those only we will solve this, especially the sum related to increase in weight of 3 boxes, right? Let's see how to deal with such kind of sums. Now average is sum of all observations upon total of all observations, or total number of observations. So sum of all observations will be nothing but average into total number of observations. So sum of runs scored in all innings, that is total runs, would be equal to average number of runs per innings multiplied by total number of innings, right? So let us say n is the total number of innings Ajay played. Now let us, what is the average for n inning? 64 runs they have given. Now when he scores 18 more runs in third inning and 4 more runs in 7th inning, then only his average becomes 66, that is an increase of 2, right? So when he scores 18 plus 4 is equal to 22 more runs, okay, 22 more runs or 22 runs more, then only the average increases. So increase in runs is 22 runs, but we also know that when average increases by 2, for each inning there is the addition of 2 runs in each inning, that is each inning runs or each inning score increases by 2. We saw that if average weight of 3 boxes is W and on changing 1 box we get average weight as 5 more, that is W by 5. That means for each individual box the weight increases by 5. Same way over here, for each individual inning the runs increase or the score increases by 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So how much is the total increase? We know number of innings as n. For each inning the increase is 2. So n into 2 is nothing but 2n runs, right? So 2n runs is the increase in the total number of runs scored. But we already know that Ajay scores 22 runs more, then only this becomes possible, that is the average increases by 2. That means these 22 runs is nothing but these 2n runs, both are the increase. So 2n is 22, so n equal to 11. N is nothing but the number of innings, so the answer is 11. How many innings did Ajay play? Ajay played 11 innings. Moving on. Question number 9. In a group of people, the oldest and the youngest have an age difference of 100 years. If these two are left out of counting, then the average age of the remaining 40 people is 28. The average age of entire group being 30, how old is the eldest person? Now here we know average is sum upon total, and total sum is nothing but average into total, right? So sum of ages of all the people is nothing but average age of the group multiplied by total number of people in the group. Now what we know over here, let us that old age difference between oldest and youngest is 100 years. So let us assume that the youngest is n years old. So how much would be the oldest? 100 plus n years, right? Then only the difference between both of them would be 100 years, right? So this is the youngest, this is the oldest. They have given that if we leave these two out, average age of remaining 40 people is 28. That means if these two are excluded, how many people are left? 40 people. That means total people in the group are 40 plus the youngest plus the oldest, that is nothing but 40 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 42 people. So 42 people are in the group. What is the average age of this group of 42 people? 30. That is nothing but sum of the ages of these 42 people divided by total number of people. Okay, so 30 would be equal to, do we know the sum of the ages of 42 people? No. How to calculate what is the total number of people? 42. So sum of the ages of 42 people is 42 into 30, that is 1260 years. Now what they are given, if you exclude the youngest and the oldest, average age of the remaining 40 people is 28. So average age of the remaining 40 people is 28. Right, that is nothing but sum of the ages of these 40 people divided by total number of people. So 28 would be, do we know sum of the ages of 40 people? No. Sum of the ages of 40 people upon total number of people are 40, because we are excluding the youngest and the oldest, right? So sum of the ages of 40 people is 40 into 28, that is 4 8s are 32, 4 2s are 8 plus 3 11, 1120 years, right? So sum of the ages of 40 people is 1120 years. Now sum of the ages of 42 people is nothing but age of youngest plus age of oldest plus sum of the ages of 40 people, right? So what is the sum of the ages of 40 people? This we already know. What is the age of youngest? N. Age of oldest 100 plus n, plus what is the sum of the ages of 40 people? 1120, and all this is equal to this 1260, right? Sum of the ages of 42 people, because this is 40 people, this is the 41st person and this is the 42nd person, right? So 1260. So what we will have over here, let's calculate 2n plus this is 1220, right? It goes over here 1260, that would be equal to 1260 minus 1220 would be 40. So I'll write over here 2n is equal to 40, n equal to 20. What is the age of oldest person? 100 plus n. Oldest person age is 100 plus n, that is 100 plus 20 equal to 120 years. See how easily we have calculated the age of the oldest person. We used only the simple formula of average and total sum. These two concepts help you solve everything. Moving on to next question. Question number 10. A batsman played 11 innings and has a certain average. This average increases by 2 runs when his 3 innings of 32 runs, 33 runs and 34 runs are replaced by 3 other innings. Find the average of these 3 new innings. Now again, this is easy one. We have our average formula, that is sum upon total. Sum of all the observations is nothing but average into total. So sum of the total number of runs or the sum of runs scored in all the innings is nothing but average number of runs in one inning into total number of innings, right? The batsman played 11 innings. Okay, now in these 11 innings he has some average. Whenever if 3 of his innings are replaced by 3 new innings, the average increases by how much? It increases by 2 runs. Since average is increasing by 2 runs, each individual inning must increase by 2 runs. So how much is the total increase? That is nothing but 2 into total number of innings is nothing but 11, that is nothing but 22 runs, right? So 22 runs is the increase in the number of runs. This is nothing but the increase. Now what they say is that the 3 innings, old innings are replaced by 3 new innings. Now whatever the new innings are there, what must they cause the average to increase? Since they are causing the average to increase, what must they compensate for? They must compensate for old innings plus they must compensate for the increase in other innings also, increase of 2 runs in other innings also, like we have seen in the weights and boxes, right? So how much is the old innings score? 32 plus 33 plus 34 plus how much is the increase in every inning because of this? That is 22 runs. So how much will you get over here? That is 30 is 90 plus 20 is 110. 112, 16, 19, 21. 121 runs. So the new three innings which are there, in total they must provide 121 runs. So that is nothing but sum of three new innings. This is sum of three old innings. This is increase in the number of runs in all the 11 innings. This is sum of three new innings. What is the average of three new innings now? Sum of three new innings upon total number of innings. Sum of three new innings is 121 divided by 3. That would give us 41 by 3 runs is nothing but the average of the three new innings. See how easily using only one formula and one small concept you can very easily solve almost all sums of averages, right? With this, we come to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. You can leave your comments and suggestions for us in the comment box below. You can even tell us about any specific videos that you would like us to develop for you. We would be rolling out more such videos and tutorials, so subscribe to our channel and stay updated.